Hey, welcome everybody to IMLPivots.com. This is so exciting for me. So I'm eager to share with you everything that's going on with pivots. So I am aware, and corporate's aware, and the programmers are aware that something happened on Friday when they were doing some updating that caused an issue with logging in. I do believe that that's all been taken care of now. So I hope that you guys will be able to go check this out over the weekend. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and, of course, the user just needs to use their IML credentials to log in to IMLPivots.com. When you log into Pivots, it's automatically going to give you the most recent pivot scanner trade that was in the market, and this particular one happens to be on the M5. And what you're going to notice is that in this case, there's actually two scans that or trades that the scanner has picked up. One of them is an open order for a buy. So what it is indicating here by this green arrow is that this open order has been triggered. And then just below it, there is a sell stop order that's down here at the bottom, and it has not been triggered as of yet. So one thing that you can easily notice is if it has like a stop next to it or a limit, then that means it's still pending. And then if it just says buy or sell, then that is another way of letting you know that this order has triggered. There's going to be a couple of more confirmations to let the customer know that this order has triggered. And so of course, one of them is the arrow. This one's letting you know that the buy's been triggered. And then there's also going to be some timestamps added this weekend. We spent about 2 hours with programmers yesterday, and we had just a few little tweaks that we wanted to do, and they have said that those are going to be things that can be done easily and right away. So let me go ahead and go over here. This is a trade that we took on Friday. Let me go ahead and say this as well. You can see that we have the 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily time frames set up for this. Pivots works great. So if you have customers who really have scalping on their minds or intraday trading on their minds, then any of these, the 5-minute, 15-minute, and 1 hour, are going to be great for that. So let's just say, for instance, on this particular trade, Aussie JPY on the 5-minute time chart, when this triggered, it went up 5 pips, possibly 6 pips. So I know a lot of people just want to get in and get out. Also, what I want to show you is that I'll be showing you on each pair that pivots is just another name for support and resistance, and these are just areas where price tends to pivot. And so let me go ahead and show you here that every pair will have a different distance. So the number of pips between this pivot line and this pivot line on Aussie JPY is 5 pips. Because the reason why that is because Aussie JPY is not that volatile of a pair. It doesn't move that much. So between pivots is going to be a shorter amount of time or distance. If I were to look at maybe GJ, sometimes GJ is 10 or 20 pips between pivots. And it does vary. Depends again on the volatility of the pair and at that time. So let's go ahead and take a look here at this, and we will look at when this triggered. So this is 20 pips apart. So again, if someone wants to scalp, 20 pips is great. And you can see here that this triggered. What I'm teaching right now is for the confidence of a brand new trader is to begin in their demo account, and I'm teaching them right now to just go one pivot level, because what I really want to see them do, get in the trade, go one pivot level. They're going to get take profits hit. Their confidence is going to get built. Then over time, say they go one pivot level for 1 week or 2 weeks, then they've been getting their take profit hit. Then I'll be or I am in class teaching them to go 2 pivot levels. Also, one thing I want to show you is that, let me see if I can zoom in here just a little bit more. Of course, we know how volatile GJ is. So the other thing that we want to look at is that the arrow is also going to be on the candle that was that triggered the trade. All right, so the candle that triggered the trade. And so we can see here that this candle is where the arrow's at. We're also working, we're going to change this icon. We're going to change the color, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger, because what I noticed is, unless I'm on lines, a lot of times I don't see this arrow. It gets lost here in the candles. And so what I'm doing is we're in the process this weekend of changing the icon color, making it larger, all of that good stuff. I like it. I want it to remain an arrow, but I want it to be just a little bit bigger and make it, you know, a different color. So that way people can see it a little bit better. So really this candle triggered that sell. And in this particular case with GJ, we can see that it did go 39 pips and then came down 20 pips. So again, what I am suggesting that the customer do is they have their GJ is probably not the best pair for a new person to get into, but if you like trading GJ, it's my favorite pair to trade on pivots. And actually, when I first started with IML, this is what I learned to, this is how I learned to trade, and it was extremely exciting. I traded this alone for 6 months, and within just a little bit of time, I know I can say this to you guys. I think I can say this to you guys. We know how it is about money, but I made my first $1,000 day in no time just using this. And so it was extremely exciting. And that was with the standard lot size, of course, and in live account, by the way. Anyway, so let me go ahead and say that this stop loss was not hit. You can see this here because this trade was activated after that. But one of the things is that I am teaching the students is, like I said, to go one pivot level in the beginning, and that way they can get their trades and take profit and feel confident. If you do use most of these pairs, GJ is such a volatile pair and it moves so much. So I know this is crazy, but look at this. On the 5-minute time frame, you have a 77 pip stop loss. It does a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, which is fantastic, by the way, because a lot of scalpers will use a high risk for a small reward. And so with this, you'll be able to catch out constantly getting those stop losses for just 3 to 5 pips. All right, so let me get off GJ because that one is a little more volatile. And this is GB actually took on Friday. And let's see, so let me just show you here. This particular trade, since we took this trade on Friday, and again, what I want to show you, pivots resets or they're redrawn, and that's a good thing for everyone, because what that means is that as the market moves, our support and resistance lines are constantly up to date for the current market. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this as a a vertical line right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a vertical line here. All right. So this trade was actually, let me go ahead and do this. So open price sell. You can see it doesn't say sell stop or anything, and I'm going to move that. It keeps putting it back in place. Open price sell. So when this triggered, these candles were actually on to be here, but this is the candle that it was triggered on. All right, so we have the vertical line to show that. I am contemplating having programmers put these vertical lines in just to help the trader know when they come back to look at a chart. They won't have to do that themselves. It's already there. We talked about it briefly this week, and we put it on the back burner, but we may put that back in place because I'm seeing that it's helping me. So if we go ahead and look, this is the candle that triggered the trade, and the take profit for that sell is right here. So right here's the take profit. And we can see that that's about 169 pips. Again, I know this is crazy. This is on the 5-minute time frame, which, you know, most people aren't used to getting so many pips on a low time frame. But this actually does work wonders with pivots. So we can see here that it was triggered there. It had already come down 45 pips and 72 pips in profit, had a little pullback, which was about a 27 pip pullback, not bad. And then it continued down for 126 pips right here. So that happened in 2 hours. So within 2 hours of this particular, and let me show you, I'm talking about this trade right here. Within 32 bars, which is 2 hours and 40 minutes, it had hit 127 pips. That's amazing because that happened on, anybody can take that as an intraday. You could even take that as, well, not a scalp. I don't think any scalpers go 127 pips. I would call this an intraday trade for sure. And they never risked more than 27 pips. Again, they had a stop loss and they had a take profit. So at any point in time, I am teaching on my pivot training that once they get, say, and we're going to show this here, I'm teaching them that once they get about 30 pips in profit to go ahead and do partial close. Right here, they were already 50 pips in profit. I'm suggesting that they do a partial close, so that they can go ahead and book some pips. They will have booked 50 pips by here, and that they move their stop to profit. So, and I'm showing them in class. So what happens if you get knocked out? No problem. You're going to have pivots show you that you're going to re-enter. So they would have been able to re-enter this trade and continued on and got another 78 pips. So they would have gotten 50 pips booked, then they would have gotten 78 pips booked. So we're teaching them how to secure the bag and not even have to risk, you know, all of this. All right. So again, when they open this, when they open pivots, it gives them their order entry for a pending sell stop. It tells them what their stop loss is, and it tells them what their take profit is. So this is a lot like, you know, swipe trades, because it's the only thing that really, well, I don't know about any other products, but I know that it gives what I like about this one is that it gives them their entry, their stop loss, their take profit. And then it also will tell them when to do a partial close. So a lot of these, you're going to see the words partial close on there. Now, I don't know why this one didn't. Maybe they took it off. What we're trying to do is keep the chart simple, and it's getting, when we're doing all of this extra trade management for the customer, it starts to jumble up the chart. So we're kind of playing around with how to help them manage their trades. So one of the things, and I'm going to write this note down as I'm speaking about this, one of the things that I want to tell you about next is the notifications, all right? I'll show you, I'm going to show you this trade also on the 1 hour, and then I'll show you a little bit about notifications. So again, here, now this is the thing that I was just telling you about. So they would have gotten closed, they would have partial, and that may be why the partial close is gone, because it closed out trade again right here on this arrow. This only had a 20 pip drawdown, and then like I was saying, it went 47 pips. So this was their second entry. So pivots showed them to get in here and here. So depict it here. I know we caught about 170, let's see, 127 pips, I think, on this total from this entry to here. And a lot of times also, what I'm at 100 pips in profit, because I'm teaching them to close or partial close every 30 pips. I want them to book those pips. So when they bank those pips, they partial close it. They partial close at 30 pips, they partial close at 60 pips, and then at 90 or 100 pips, they partial close. And then if they did put in a 0.04 or higher, they can leave 1 micro pip running to the final take profit. Again, their stop will be in profit, and they have no issues with losing anything. It's going to be a risk-free trade. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at GBP NZD, and it also had, it's up here. So this is my computer. I haven't had any students have this issue, but this is something Lee's computer is having an issue with, and that is this drop-down menu. All right, so let me go back here. And I'll be sure to show this to Kate. She wanted me to show her when it happens. So on GBP NZD, we're going to look at this. And I want to show you what this did on the 1 hour time frame as well. So it was an open, now it says sell. When price was up here, this said sell stop. Once the trade is triggered, and I'll show you this in another example, once the trade is triggered, you get an arrow, and you also get bold support and resistance lines. When a trade has not triggered, you're going to get these lighter dotted lines. They're going to make these lines darker for me, but I want to show you here, if I can, that these are dotted lines. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see them. They are making them more bold, but they will remain dotted. So see here, you have a buy stop, that's a pending order, and you have dotted lines. And here within this coming week, you will have the timestamp of when this pending order was posted. So let me go back to GBP NZD. It's bold lines. That's the first indication that this has triggered. We have sell here instead of sell stop. That's another indication that this trade is triggered. And we have an arrow. So that's in the direction of the trade, and that's the other indication. All right, so in this particular case, we have, this is the candle that triggered the trade. And we can see that here it's gone, dear Lord, have mercy. It's gone 232 pips in 11 hours. So this is on the 1 hour time frame, and depending on the patience of the trader, they could have caught 232 pips here. So for me, of course, pivots is my baby, but I want to tell you that it's absolutely amazing. It is the way I learned how to trade when I came to IML, and it is to this day one of the strategies that I use for confirmations in my trading. I look at it every time I'm going to take a trade. Now, two more points that I'm going to make rather quickly, I'm not going to elaborate on them at the moment, is that right now the pivot scanner is only using one of my 3 strategies that we use for pivots. This is one of the 3 strategies. And right now it is amazing because every one of these pairs has either an activated or a pending trade. Every single one of these pairs. It's not in the list unless it has a pending order or an activated order. So this next week, there's going to be an icon next to the symbol of all the trades that are activated. So if one of these, like on those GBP NZDs, if it activated, it'll have a symbol next to it to let them know that that pending order has activated. And as you can see, there's no limit to this. It's amazing at how many, and I'm teaching them to put these pending orders in their demo account so that they can get a good feel for how this works. It's going to really help them learn how to put in their entries, their take profits, and their stop losses. So as you can see, there is almost an unlimited amount of orders. Also, these are not in alphabetical order because this is the oldest pending order. And then up top, you will see this is the newest pending order. So this just, was added to our list here right towards the end of the session on Friday. All right, so the next thing that I want to show you is that we have notifications. This is the best part about this. So every time, let me get to my list here because it's a lot. So every time a pending order is placed onto the pivots chart, there's going to be an alert. It can come as a push notification to your phone, or you can get an email, or you can get both. There's also going to be an alert or notification every time a trade pending order has triggered. There's going to be an alert or notification anytime a pending order is deleted. Now, I want to go back and tell you what that means. It's not going to be like you're in the middle of a trade and all of a sudden that order got deleted. No, absolutely not. What that means is maybe one of the older notifications. So maybe you had put in this order down here at the very bottom. And let's just say that the market totally went up, say the market went up here. This is no longer going to be a valid order. And so you want to know that, hey, go delete it from my pending order list. So there's going to be a notification that says, delete CAD CHF M5 pending buy. Okay. Oh, actually, this is an older one, but look, Lead isn't paying attention, but this doesn't say buy stop here. It says buy. So this actually triggered, even though it's old. Look at that. It triggered and it went. Now this is one of those pairs that doesn't move as much. So one pivot level is 7 pips, 2 pivot levels is 15, and you can see it went 12 pips in profit, and now it's about 3 pips in profit. Okay, but let's just say that, again, it was one of those older orders that, gosh, all of these are activated. And now here's one that says buy stop. So this one hasn't activated. So let's just say that it's old and the market, went totally different direction, and you want to let them know to get it out of their pending orders. Then it'll alert them and say delete pending order for Aussie New Zealand M5. Also, there's going to be an alert whenever pivots redraws. So let's just show you right here. in this case, here's the market. And pivots has 9 pivot level, not lines, which is 8 levels. So pivots would have been up here. But when the market moved down here, then pivots redraws. And it moves all of the lines down here wherever the market's at. So you want to know when that happens. So you're going to get an alert that says pivots have been redrawn for Aussie New Zealand on the M5. Now, the next thing that you're going to get an alert for, which is one of my favorite strategies with pivots, and I am in the process of teaching it, but you will get an alert when price crosses the 0 or the 8, or let's just say this is the 8 and this is the 0. So for me, I buy or sell, I'm sorry, whenever price crosses the 8, and I will sell it. I teach them to go 1 or 2 pivots, but I personally will go all the way down to the 2. So for me on this particular one, this doesn't move that much. You know, it's only 11 pips, but I don't trade this particular pair because it doesn't move much. But on the pairs that I trade, that would have been probably 200 pips. On the M5, by the way, they're going to get an alert when that happens. I also teach the moving average strategy. And so when price cross the 200 or the 50, it's going to give them an alert. If they want it, they can select. This is the great thing because this is a lot of alerts. With pivots, they're going to be able to catch a lot of pips. And it's very simple. I want to say that the great thing about pivots is it's so easy. It was so easy that I learned it in my first couple of weeks with IML. So, well, not like excellent. It took me a month or 2 to really get this, but I created these strategies with it. So one of the things is that with moving average strategy, whenever price crosses the 50 or the 200, you're going to get an alert if you choose to get it. And then guys, this is where we take, in this case, 42 pips. On GJ, this would have been about 200 or more pips. But they are going to get an alert that price has crossed the 200, and they can go look and decide if they want to buy or sell depending on which direction it's crossing in. All right, so let me go back to the alerts here. And we are going to have like a header tab here. And one of the things that it's going to say is notifications, and then it's going to say rules so that they can know what rules we're using, you know, how to trade this. Obviously, we want them to get on my pivots channel. It's also going to have all the information for pivots channel, how to get on, how to get the training, and all of that. But here they can, maybe if they just want to scalp, then they can just check the lower time frames and submit. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to put all the pairs in here as an alert. I have not asked that question because programmers are doing so many amazing things for us in this that I didn't want to push it with them, but I am going to see later on if we can put notifications on different pairs. So maybe they just want to get certain pairs. So we'll ask that later. I asked them to do about 10 or 15 things, and they're trying to get it all done by this week. And so like I said, I don't want to push the envelope with them on that. But you can decide here how often you want to receive the emails, never, or any of these times. And then if you want to subscribe to Lee's manual trade alerts, then you'll select that and submit. Also here, if you want to get push notifications on your phone, again, never, 30 minutes, etc. I did ask them to do 5 minutes because if you're using the M5 chart, a 30-minute notification is too late. You could have already missed the trade. So they are asking for a 5-minute for those people who are trading like the 5-minute time frame. Again, if they want to subscribe to manual alerts from myself, they'll click on that and then they'll submit. And in order for them to receive those notifications, they will need to have imlpivots.com logged in and open on their phone. We will have an app. It will be completed in the next possibly 2 to 4 weeks. But in the meantime, we want to make sure that they have it like that. All right. Of course, here in the notes section, this is IML policies. And that's just mandatory on everything. And then let me go back to, maybe there needs to be like a home tab right there, huh? All right, let me go back here. And let's see. I think, oh, saved layouts. This is a great thing too. So if your customer has some particular indicators they want to add, maybe they like to do something different, I have what's called the PIVOTS dark screen. And this is really great for those who like the dark backgrounds, and they, like I said, they can add different. I added a couple of other moving averages on mine. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so this is the default moving averages, and then there's a strategy that I teach with these DEMA crosses, and so that's on there. Also, the text, if you have a dark screen, it doesn't show up as well, so this is already being changed to this lighter color, so you'll be able to see this text in the dark screen mode. All right, let's go ahead and nice. This would have been an entry notification right here to take a look at when price crossed the 200. And as you can see on the 5-minute time frame, if you would have taken that notification, by the way, I have hundreds of students who are using this, and they're getting, actually I have a lot of text. I would love to show you all the messages I have where people are getting 200 pips a day with pivots already. So this is going to be a fantastic tool and product, I think, for us. It's something that will definitely, this is not going to be available, the scanner, this is going to have them, you know, really want to be in IML to be able to have access to this and to get these alerts and notifications from my strategies. Like I said, I'm going to have 3 strategies. They're going to be able to select whether they want strategy 1 or strategy 2. That way it doesn't jumble up the charts. So they're going to be able to pick that and decide on which strategy they want. And so they'll go to that chart, and it'll be strategy. This is strategy 2. If they choose strategy 1, it's going to be the 0 and the 8. So I'm not sure. I think that's pretty much all that I have for you right now. If you guys have any questions, I'm sure Spiela will be able to get us together or get me to do another video for you. I hope that you will be as excited about pivots, imlpivots.com as I am. And blessings to you all. Thank you.